A while back, I had made a video about people buying beef, pork, and getting their food supplies up basically with their meat because of everything that was going on because of the shortage I'd predicted, and it did happen. Now, what's coming, a lot of people are not aware of, or maybe you are. What you should be doing right now is a lot of people are thinking, I need to bank my money. I need to bank, bank, bank. And that's actually a mistake. Remember, you want to keep your quality of life, is what you want to do. So, what you want to do is you want to start paying bills ahead. So, if you got your internet and you love your internet, like I do, I mean, go pay 6 months, $600. Boom, go pay it. So, you don't need to worry about it. $1,200. Pay for a year if you can afford it. Look at your other situations. Like if you've got pets, I mean, look into getting 6 months supply of dog food, cat food if you've got cats. Look at trying to remove those smaller bills. That's what you want to do. Car insurance is very expensive. A lot of people pay by the month. If you can up that to 6 months, you're going to save money. I pay every 6 months. I'm actually going to pay another 6 months ahead, is what I'm going to do. Now, I went and took another job. My business hasn't been doing that great because of this thing that's going on. And I took a job for a couple months, and it's really made a big difference. It's really boosted me up to buy a few things like I've wanted. But mainly, I'm paying a lot of things in advance for 6 months. And that's what you want to do. Because what's going to happen, a lot of people are being evicted. A lot of people are lost their jobs. I mean, you can't help that. Those people are basically, they're in trouble. But if you're not yet, then this is what you want to do. So your quality of life doesn't change. And when all of a sudden you do get tight on money 3 months from now, you're going to be like, well, I still got the dog food. I paid the internet in advance. I'm really not doing too bad. And that's really what you want to concentrate on. Now, you can take your money and sit on it and then pay the bills as they come. You could do that too. I wouldn't leave your money in the bank. I mean, I take out a fair portion and put it in the house. But the problem with taking money out is that if you have a house fire or something goes wrong, and a lot of people believe if they put their money in a safe that they're okay. That's not true. A lot of people don't read the instructions on things. When you buy those safes, they tell you to put them on an outer wall, not in the middle of a wall, is what it is. So if you can turn around and put it on, make sure you put it on an outer wall. I'm actually looking at, I think that's a dog walking across a field. It could be something else. I don't know what that is. But basically, a safe goes on an outer wall, is what it does. So keep that in mind. But you don't want to just leave money in drawers or socks, or I mean, if something horrible happens or somebody robs you or whatever, you're really going to be in a bad position. And that's why I'm saying go pay your internet for 6 months. Go put your dog food away for 6 months. I mean, at least if it's done, it's done. And that's the thing. I also did something else. I went to, what's that called? This big food truck showed up in my town, and they posted on Facebook, everybody come down and get some, what was that called? Harvest food?
Second harvest.
Second harvest food is what that was called. And so I went down there. They gave us like 3 or 4 boxes. There was a big line. I'd say it was a good hour's wait. You'd drive up, they'd load your vehicle up, and you'd go home, no questions asked. And I thought, okay, that's kind of cool. So I actually started unloading this food and taking a look at it. It was unbelievable. I mean, they had steakums in there, and I thought, I like steakums. I mean, they're pretty good. So I cooked those up. I thought, I scored, right? And I didn't score. They were freezer burnt. I couldn't even eat them. I took 2 bites. I went, are you kidding me? This is horrible. This is what they're giving the poor? You couldn't even eat it. Now, some things they gave me were okay. Like some farmer had given a box of lettuce. I mean, that was fresh lettuce. That was good. I mean, that was really good. But a lot of the food they gave, it was garbage. And that was Second Harvest. Now, I went and looked up Second Harvest. They're all across the USA. The CEO makes over $1 million a year. Okay? You can look it up on Google. And I was just shaking my head. Here in Tennessee, they just gave a grant to Second Harvest of $25,000. So what are they doing with this money? Are they buying like spoiled food? That's what they're giving the people? Because it seemed like a lot of it was like that. Now, some of the canned food, one of it was tomato soup with no salt in it. And of course, my wife said, just add salt to it. I did. It didn't taste right. It didn't taste right. And, well, I haven't gone again. They've had it like every month, sometimes twice a month in my town. I didn't go back. I'm like, it's garbage. I'm going to throw it away. Maybe I'll give it to the raccoons. But I don't even know if they'll eat it. I tried to give my dog the steak-um, and she sniffed it and went, no, no. And she walked away. I was like, that's pretty bad when the dog won't eat it. But yet you're going to feed this to American citizens? I mean, this is just so messed up on so many levels. And the U.S. has failed so horribly on everything with this. It's just ridiculous. And I feel sorry for a lot of the people that, are poor and they don't have any income and they can't get by if they're forced to eat that stuff. I mean, that's crazy. So I would say continue to, beef up your food supplies, your cans. God forbid you got to go to Second Harvest and get some food, or a food bank, because they're obviously not giving very good stuff to the people. And pay your bills up ahead if you can, because that's what I'm doing. I'm expecting a big storm to come now. A lot of people are yelling mass depression. I don't think that's coming. Not yet. I mean, because I still see places hiring. So, and everybody's trying. A lot of businesses are trying. I mean, my business, I'm trying too. So we're not down for the count yet. So I don't see that coming. I mean, yes, a lot of jobs have closed. A lot of restaurants, a lot of party places, a lot of places like this have closed. But keep in mind, life still has to go on. You still need tires for your car. A mechanic still has to fix it. Whether you like it or not and it breaks, you still got to get it fixed. Like my wife's car, for example, I got a gas line that's broke on it. And I contacted the dealership. They told me it was like $1,200. I went, you're crazy. I was actually at the point where I'm going, I'm going to fix it myself. I don't care if I break it. I can break it 4 times for that. Well, there was a guy in town that advertised on Facebook, and he was like a rolling mechanic. He has a truck. He'll come to your house. He'll fix it right in the driveway. And I went, wow, that's pretty cool. So I contacted him, and he's busy. He's really busy. So that goes to show you right there, I doubt very much we're going into a depression. But he told me that he'll come to my house. It'll be 4 or 5 days from now. And I told him what it was. He says they sell a kit where you can patch the small part. But he says there's a lot of things that got to come off. And he's charging me, I think it was $179 or something like that. And that includes the parts and everything. So that was way better when I heard $1,200 to $179. So he'll be here in the next 4 or 5 days. And I'll pay him to fix the wife's gas leak on her vehicle. But still, all this stuff has to be done, and it still has to continue on. So, basically look into paying your bills ahead. Don't pay month to month. If you have the money, pay 3 months in advance, 6 months, a year, I don't care what it is, pay ahead. And you're going to have a lot less stress. Because think about this. Let's say you could pay your internet bill for $1,200 for the year. Okay, you do that. And now let's say you got to pay car insurance. All right. Well, if you took out $100 every month, by the time car insurance came due, you'll be able to pay it for 6 months or 1 year. So that $100 you were paying the internet is now being paid on the car insurance. And that's just a better way of doing things. So that's how I would do it. I mean, I'm sure you got your own ideas. Hey, hit me in the comments. Do you guys really believe that, a depression's coming? Do you guys really believe that? I want to know that. Because I don't. I really don't. I think, probably in a year's time, things are going to get better. I mean, Russia's already talking about a vaccine. Donald Trump is saying by November. I say a few more months later. And a lot of people aren't going to be gung-ho to take it right away. So, everybody's going to be watching the guinea pigs to see what happens to them. And then if they actually live, we'll probably say, okay, I'll try it. But... And that's another thing. If they do come out with the vaccine, are you going to take it or are you going to wait? I think I'm going to wait. I don't know. Oh, and an update on my daughter. She'd caught it, and it really didn't affect her that bad. I'm going to get all the naysayers saying, oh, I told you so. She had it for about 2 weeks, and she got sick. She got sniffles. She had sore throat. She didn't get it all that bad. She's young though. She's 29, 30 years old. She healed up pretty good. And since that happened, I mean, unbelievable. They've got her working in the COVID unit, is where she's working. There's 55 people in there, and they're now paying her $30 an hour. So danger pay, I guess, which is what? Geez, she was making like 19, 20, and now she's making 30. So she's in there. Now they have this idea that if you've already caught it once, you have a built-up immune system. And this is interesting while I watch this because, she hasn't caught it since. She's tested weekly. So far she's been pretty strong. But like I said, she didn't get it that bad. I mean, and her kids were quarantined at the time when she did get it, so everything was good there. So everything's great, back the way it should be. But she is working right in the COVID unit with 55 patients. Elderly patients is where she's working. And her dress up is just amazing, the way she has to dress up and go in there. She's not even allowed, even when she undresses, to go back into the facility or associate in the facility. She is stuck in one section. She is in quarantine there. When she leaves, she gets in her vehicle, she drives straight home. Now she lives way out in the country, so she goes behind her house, strips down, clothes go in the laundry, she goes into the bathtub, and that's her ritual every time she comes home. Not touching her face, of course, and cleaning up. Then she goes back to the car, and the whole car gets wiped down where she's been touching steering wheel and so on and so forth. So she's doing good, which is awesome. But a lot of good things happening, I see. Vaccines, all this stuff is coming. So I would say, like I said in the beginning, next 6 months, next year, pay ahead on whatever you can, whether it's dog food, cat food. Last thing you want to do is look at your dog and say, man, I got no money for dog food. My dog's starving. Don't put yourself in that position. That'll be depressing. Anything that'll depress you, remove it. So that way, when things do get a little bit bad, it's not that hard and you're still smiling. And that makes a difference in your attitude and how you look at life. All right, guys. I'll catch you guys on the next one.